Everyone, welcome to October 20th. So I am just getting the live stream out on Twitter so that I can have people join us live. All right. And if there's anyone new that joined me for yoga this morning, what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the yoga class? I definitely enjoyed it. Have to work on the layout a little bit more of the camera, everything like that. But hey, I think for the first one, it went pretty well. So here we go. All right. There we go. All right, so I hope you guys are having an amazing day. It was a quite volatile one with some stocks right off of my list today. So we'll look at that. We'll also look at the market, where it could be going and what we should keep our eyes on, really. Let me get this live. All right, so if you are brand new to the channel, please go ahead, hit like and subscribe and turn on the notifications because YouTube has changed it up, so I have to tweet it out live every time. I can't send you guys the link ahead of time. So hello, good afternoons, Kawa, Kyle, and Elena. Yeah, for sure. We will definitely add WEI and IBB. So let's get over into the market. And I've got IBM up right here, but let's check out the SPY, right? And I'll take away the background. I do have the Senate up because it is a very crucial day. We might see that we have a stimulus vote happening today, which could cause the market to really rock forward. So right now, we'll pull up the daily and the 45-minute chart. You guys know I love the 45-minute chart and my daily. So on the 5-minute, look, we're coming up and we're testing these moving averages. It seems like maybe it's a bit of a positioning day for the SPY, for the simple reason that every time we came down, some bigger volume came in, right? And we have a trend line back here that we tested yesterday. So today seems more like a positioning day. And we'll make this is the SPY, and we'll make it the daily. All right, everything should be adjusted here. All right, so you can see we have this trend line over here that was set up. This is from the past, and we bounced off of it. I said yesterday, hey, if we can close below 342, watch out. That is my bear hat, right? So did we close below it? No, we didn't. So looking at that, still bullish. It's just a bit of a pullback here. And we'll draw a new trend line over here. We would need to see it really break strong, I'd say roughly above 346, right? 347. Let's put 347.70 today. If we get news that there's a vote on the stimulus, boom, we come up, we shoot up above, even a close above 348, we could easily swallow up this candle right here. I mean, we did it before in the past. We had a really down day, then we opened up just a little higher, and then we surged up even further. So this might be positioning for us to move to the upside right here. The Qs as well, we'll check those out. So the Qs has sort of had a sideways day, had a little bit of downward price action, but look at how it's bouncing off of that 425 on the 45-minute chart. This is the second time, and I'm gonna open up over here, see if I can grab and see if we have any big dark pool prints that I can let you guys know about on that, and see if we are above any of those right now. Right now, same scenario. We're hitting this 21 EMA. So we were really overextended at the beginning of last week, pulled back, and now it's sort of come back down to reality on our daily chart, and we're potentially moving to the upside. Now, Google did have its antitrust issues that they are talking about antitrust cases against them, which is no surprise. We saw that before. But let's see. All right, let's look for today's price action that I have yesterday up here. So let me just check it out and see. Let's watch 283.49 today, which we are above. 283.49. Look at that. Let's put a little note. You guys can put a note on your chart. 283.49. And if we close above that, then we are likely going up for the day, right? So look at where it is on our daily chart. Coincidence that we happen to see this all the way down here? I don't think it's a coincidence, right? Maybe that's late from yesterday too. I don't know. Let me look over here. Let's see. Nope, that was real time today probably. So right now we're above that. So that looks like the biggest print that we have for today, which is nothing massive, is above us, or below us, I should say. The price action is above us, so potential buying to take this market up. We also have, if you guys go to Twitter, my favorite is going to Earnings Whispers. Let's go over here. Earnings Whispers. We'll catch up. Right, so Earnings Whispers before the market tomorrow, right here. So these are important to know. We've got Abbott, Verizon, Baker Hughes, Travel Zoo, and not so much, but Abbott, Verizon, Ericsson, Winnebago, NASDAQ, interesting, BIIB, KeyBank. All right, we've got that, and let's look about after hours tomorrow. Excuse me, after hours today, because that will affect the market. All right, so these are the ones for tomorrow. Netflix. So Netflix might have a big run up into the end of the day based on the fact that they're having their earnings tomorrow. Snap as well, iRobot. And look, you guys can see the charts here. That's why I love Earnings Whisper, because you can see everything. Canadian Railway right here, CN. Navi looks like it's primed potentially for an upward motion. It already broke out from this ascending triangle. AGR rejected it right here. Maybe it's going to come back down to 48. Interactive Brokers in a wedge right here. Hey, if it breaks above that 51.25, maybe another leg to the upside. Much like it had it right here. You can see if you drew another little trend line right there. Hey, look, once it broke that, boom, up it went, right? So keeping all of those in mind, we have a lot of stocks that will be reporting. All right, so big one on watch. Silver right here. Why isn't it changing over for me? We keep testing up here. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you likely saw my tweet today. I said we're potentially going to be testing a 23.40 today. We got up to 23.17. I'll show you the reason why I said that. Let's turn on the volume session profile over here. And we had this one, which we took out from before yesterday, which was the point of control from the 9th of October. So if we close above this, we're teetering just above this downward trend line, and we might run on up, right up here to that 23.40 area. We made it halfway. We have some selling power coming in at the moment. So it might come back down here. This wedge, we had a upper wedge up here. This is drawn from back when we had the highs up here, right? From past, back in August to over here. And now we have a bit more of a tighter wedge just on the inside of that one. So we might run up, test up here, maybe that 23.75 or 23.88, and then potentially pull back and continue in that upward trend. We will see. If we get the vote for the stimulus today, which Nancy Pelosi did put that time deadline on it for Tuesday in order to have it go into effect before the election, which in my personal opinion, I think she doesn't want to do it because she feels like it might help Trump get elected. But if that happens, likely the US dollar will be dropping down and the metals will be increasing, because as you print more money, what happens to it? When there's more of a supply, what's going to happen to that price valuation? It's probably going to go down for the US dollar. So seeing that, people might be turning to a commodity as a basis for a constant, right? Which also kind of makes sense, that if that price stays the same, then the inflation would cause the commodity to go up at the same time. So kind of cool to look at that way. All right, Logitech today had a big move to the upside pre-market, pulled back to that support level. I said, hey, 92.80 if we drop below, potential short trade. Had a really quick short trade down here, down almost to $90, 90.90, and then it bounced. If we can hold this 92.80, then potential move to the upside. However, on this shorter time frame, we are still coming down, and you can see right here 92.50 as well. 92.80, we've got a level to watch there, and it had buying power every time that it came up to that level. So really looking to see if it can break below 92.80 for the move down, maybe to 92.50, and then on down to 91, 91.50, coming down to that 90.12 right here on that 15-minute chart. All right, PG has been a beast lately on the daily chart. Oops, how did I get to the 15-minute? I took that back. And potentially, see, it just was in the beast mode to the upside. Now we're coming back, we're consolidating at the moving averages, and over here likes these 45-minute moving averages. Many times they will bounce off of there. So we bounced up, we had earnings, it pulled back, found some buying power, went above, and let's see if we had any prints on it, that maybe they were taking some profits up at the top today. No, nothing. Let's check yesterday and see. Maybe they won't come out until later today as well. Yesterday, 144.79 was an area to watch. Oh no, that was open. Never mind. Nothing really big for BG. And let's look at CRSR. So this is lower float, have it on the list. However, it went ahead and it ran pretty high this morning, right off of 22.50, 22.40 up to the upside, came up, hit almost 23.50. You can see a good reason why sometimes you don't want to be stubborn to get that last 10 cents. If you put it in 10 cents below, 3 cents below, 6 cents below, many times it will hit and you will get filled, as opposed to waiting for that round dollar mark. ACI Albertsons also had earnings today, and their CEO was on CNBC this morning. And this is a grocery store, if you guys do not know. This is a grocery store chain. If we look also at Kroger, they have been doing, they did fairly well in the pandemic. They just rode it all the way up and then pulled back, and now it looks like it might be in another leg to the downside. But Albertsons had its IPO this year and came up, and we tested the IPO price right here today, right at 15.45. You can see on the top over there on the 45-minute chart, and now it's pulling back. Seems like it might have found support right here. I would watch 14.90 to see if that'll continue to the downside and maybe close the gap on the right, which would be 14.60 over here. All right, Nokia. Nice, Joseph. Nokia, you guys see this? I see the upside down head and shoulders. I did call this out on Sunday. I said, hey guys, I see an upside down head and shoulders. Maybe if we can get in here, fill the gap. So we came up and we tested this moving average and potential move to the upside over here. It's so weird. Oh, these prices are different. It's confusing me. And came up to 440, could not break above, which is right here as well on the daily chart, just at the 425 EMA. All right, so it does have earnings coming up. Maybe they're going to say, hey, we are a giant 5G company, or maybe this will run up like Verizon too. They do have a big 5G network they're working with, so that might be a reason why we might see some movement with Nokia, as well as it might trade sympathetically to Verizon. So on our chart over here 42.50 and 44.76. Not really a trade on DraftKings. When we have 2 days of price action going sideways like this, that's really going to signify to me that there's a bigger trade that's taking place. They are consolidating, and it's either going to be an up move from here that's going to come with some power, or a drop down that's going to come with some power, because they're laying their position right now. All right, IBM. IBM had earnings today as well, and I put some marks on the chart because I was using it for a demonstration for later today. IBM dropped down. Hey, we dropped down below 120.90 or 121. Watch this for a potential short. Yes, came down and failed, came right down to 117.50. You can see how some buying power stepped in right there. Look at that. This is 45 minutes, so 90 minutes, 3 hours, 117.42 acted as the bottom. If it holds, there's likely, look at all this volume for today. Then 117, we've got potential nice upward swing on IBM. Potential gap fill back up to that 125 area over here. And if not, even higher. They came in right at expectations. Okay, you know what, BS? No worries, you can leave. Not a problem. If you don't like it, you are welcome to leave. And if you have to say anything bad, you know what? I will go ahead and just delete you from the channel. All right, let's remove that one. All right, goodbye. You are evicted. That's all good. Gotta love trolls. It means that they hate their life. That's it. All right, so Valet, no trade here on Valet today. JMIA had a nice move to the upside, break above 1570 and screamed higher today, breaking that resistance from the pre-market. Thank you, Kawakawa. It's all good. Haters simply mean that they hate their life and that they're jealous of mine. All right, so CGC had big price movement this morning, pulled back a little bit. You guys can see it pulled back to the 50 SMA on the 45-minute chart. And that's not, Mr. Roboto, are you talking about my music or are you talking about the background? This is the Senate. Came down to the faster moving average right here and bounced. So this might have a potential move to the upside if we can break above. Is it really ripping? Aha, let's see. Did we get stimulus news? Look at that. Right after they bought over here yesterday. Gotta love trolls. It makes me so funny. It makes me laugh with their attitude. All right, let's continue forward. So CGC. Now, Kyle wanted to look at IBB, KEI. Oh, let's do this. All right. So the SPY, sorry, I got distracted with you guys saying that the SPY is moving. All right, thanks, James. Yeah, it was nice to be able to share my practice with you guys. If you guys want to get into yoga and follow, feel free. So IBB this is the biotechnology area. Likely down based on the fact that they were saying there's no vaccine potential coming until the end of November. And also, it had hit a peak up here, right? It had hit a high. It started to curl over, broke below the 50 SMA. When we look back on the 45-minute chart, it had been riding it up, except for this one anomaly right here, which is right over here. And that's also the 21 EMA. So it came down, and look at how hey, now we've broken below this 425 EMA, and it seems to really have broken the trend to the downside today, right? But it did bounce off of this area, this exponential moving average. I also wanted to touch on Tesla. So Tesla does have earnings coming up tomorrow. We have this downward price action that we've had for a while now. Let's look at it on the daily over here, and look at how they're just holding the price action down here. Right here, that the price action is just stalling sideways between 422.36 and 424 really. So it's just going sideways right there, which leads me to believe that there's potentially a trade being set up. Look, we have 426.25 is our 20 SMA. We are below, and we are below the 425 over here. However, anything is possible with earnings, right? So this might pull back down further, come down to 410, and then shoot up higher. I did do a tweet about the different earnings, different levels to check out for Tesla. So let's go and look at that chart really quickly too. So TrendSpider is awesome. You can draw lines on it with different price levels very, very easily. And I did put this out on Twitter. Hey, watch 411.58, 387, 373 to the downside. And then we have some traffic to the upside. But if we clear 482, if they come out and they say, hey, 482, we open up above there tomorrow, look at all this clear space up above. Now it might stall at 500, 512.50, 525, but we have a nice potential move up roughly to $600. And so the fact that Elon Musk earlier somewhat leaked his sales email, this might be consolidating down here for a bigger price move to the upside, but I don't know, right? Earnings is a crapshoot. So best to trade it up to the close today and then after when we open up tomorrow. All right, but we are still in this upward trend and pulling back again. It might hit down here, roughly 412, and then it could surge higher. So we will see. Earnings, again, it's just really a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which direction it will go from here. All right, and what was the other one you guys wanted to look at? WEI. So let's look at WEI, Kawa. And WEI, yeah, nice price movement today. So I'm guessing that this is a lower float stock. And look, it might even come up and hit that 425 up there at 510 and then just drop away. It seems like it's gaining some more momentum to potentially break out above that 350 area when we look on the 45-minute chart, and a little bit of a bull flag over here, right? Every time the seller stepped in and sold it down. However, we also have buyers holding it roughly at 315. So if that 315 level breaks, looks like it might continue to the downside right there, but it might scream higher into the close with the shorts. All right, you guys have any other stocks that you want to check out today? Well, this will be fun to see if it screams higher right here while we're watching. And we broke out above that downward trend. Just need some volume coming in. Let's look at it on a 1-minute chart, even go down in time frame. Put a 5-minute over here. That's not very good right here. This hammer with the selling right next to it. This is a 1-minute on the left. ISRG. All right. ISRG. Let's put it back to 45 minutes. And we got 5 minutes on the right. So ISRG, let's check out the daily. All right, so on the daily, I'm seeing more of like a double top right here, mark. And on the 45 minutes, I see a bit of a downward trend over here. It's still in the upward trend right here, but the targets, right? I would use this as a potential get out, maybe take some profit if it cannot break this downward trend on the daily, because we have a bunch of really we have some selling power that has not held it above this area. And now they're selling on the 4 EMA right here. It might pull back down. We might test down here to 730 as well. Yeah, there's gaps to fill below here down to 730. Then there's a gap right there, 725, and down to 720.74. And the market is ripping. No idea if there's news. Let's check and see really quickly. 680 all the way down here. Yeah, there's definitely a gap here, 684 down to 673. If it starts heading to the downside, I would watch for these little gaps. But this one was filled before. So it might come down to 725, might consolidate here and then move up. On the 45-minute chart, 711 is that area to watch for that 425. Yeah, I don't know that it would go down that much. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it's riding that 50 up. That 50 would probably act as a bit of a roadblock first. Then if it breaks that 50, look at how it came right down here to this gray moving average. Many times it will fill gaps. So 670 area if it breaks the 50 simple moving average. But you've got a bunch of moving averages in the way right here. And then it might come down here and fill down to 668. That's what I would use, because look at also over here. We have all this, and we have a strong resistance level right here at 692.50 on the left. So that would likely hold as support as well. It bounced off of it here, bounced off of it when it failed, pulled down to this moving average, bounced up, and then we have 692.50 again. All right, RKT, Rocket. Rocket Company is not looking like a rocket anymore. It looks like it's coming back down to earth. And it's only been in existence for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days, because then we needed our 50 days there. There you go. And you know what? The dark pool knew that it was coming, and so they laid their positions early. And now it's likely the shorts that are getting squeezed, right? All those shorts, oh my goodness, we're going down, and look at how, this will be awesome. I'm going to set the alert over here, guys, 348, crossing up above 348. Oops, not down, up, right? And it had bounced off of this yesterday, so they likely knew that this was coming, right? Somebody always knows, and it's usually the guys that have the big money. So right now we're testing that high as well from this day, from this gap. Are we going to break above 345.60 and a bit of a trend line? I don't know where this trend line came from, but looking at it, we've came from over here, the lows right here from these 2 days back in the 24th and 25th of September, where that trend line came from. So if we break above that, well, then we're going back into the upward trend from the end of September. And how about silver and gold? Silver is moving up a little bit, but it's sort of stalled right there. And gold is heading up a little bit as well. All right, so I didn't really finish Rocket. I started mentioning it, but thank you, Mark, for giving me the news, because I don't read the news, but I figured that there was something that was coming out. All right, so Rocket. If I was looking at this as a long, I would look at a support of 1980 to hold. Oops, I didn't want that. I want a horizontal line. I'd want 1980 to hold. Also, if we do a trend line, this is the time when I do want the trend line. We draw a trend line from the bottom here to the bottom here. It's actually bouncing off of that trend line right now, Kawa. So that might be an indication, hey, I would potentially get in here, and I would use 1980 as my stop. There might be computers setting up to buy on this trend line. It looks as if it is oversold on the stochastics down here and could rip higher into earnings. Oh, good, Asif. Had a nice little troll on here today. Had to boot them out of the chat. NNDM. It's rebounding. Well, it looks like it pulled back down. It hit the 200 SMA on the 45 minutes, right? And now, yeah, it's coming up a little bit, but it still has a ways to go. If I was in up here at 6, I wouldn't be too happy seeing that it dropped roughly 50% in 2 days. Nice. I got a weird call. Some weird random thing called me and said, hey, MUN is signing a contract. No idea. But take it for a grain of salt. I have no idea. Maybe they're trying to sell a whole bunch of shares, and so that's why they're calling people. But if anyone trades, I don't even know where this trades. The Euronext market, I don't know. So just a weird anomaly. We'll see. I'll check it out and see later. Are you talking about NNDM? Right now, that looks like that's really in a downward trend to me. AA. Look, if we draw a trend line right here, it's broken that upward trend that we've had since the 6th of October. And that was a more mild trend, more flat trend. If we wanted to go even from the base of the run-up, starting back here, this might potentially pull all the way back down to roughly $3 before it would continue to the upside. But right now it's in a downward motion. The trend for the past 2 days has really been downwards for it. And we're about to have the 4 cross over the 8 to the downside. Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. Let's look at run. Let's check out Domino's too, Kyle. You keep bringing about, oh, I like run. Run looks like it's bottomed out here, has some volume, right? It's starting to curl up. This is better looking, right? We have support over here that it tested and it broke above, or resistance, I should say, from over here, and it broke above it. Yesterday was a testing day. If it could close up at the high of the day, this has potential. I wouldn't say guarantee that I would get into this, but this has a lot of potential for holding to go and run to the upside, literally. You can see that we are starting to set up a rounded bottom right here. And it could, you can see here we're breaking the resistance. When it broke in the past, look at what happened. Yeah, market is really awkward today. It's an awkward day. This is one of those days when the market's just not acting right. So just keep it on watch. So this has that potential. When it broke above back over here, it ran from 65, right here. We're down at 63, roughly here. 63.90 all the way up to 82. So this has that potential to run up again, but this was free and clear. There was no resistance in the past, right? Now we have some levels to watch. Next level potentially right here at 65.35, potentially up here at 66.10. Then we have a gap up here to 67.89. Then up to here, 70.50. 70 would probably also offer some resistance as well. All right, let's look at Gilead. Did it continue down to the downside? It's regained some strength today, a little bit. So on the daily, when we look at this and we look back 4 or 5 years, we are down below everything right now, right? So it came down to, it didn't come all the way down to 58. And it's showing really oversold on the daily here. When it was oversold before, you can see it downward trended from about 80 down to 63. So this could even have more of a $20 move to the downside, wouldn't surprise me, down to 46, 48. On the weekly, there's nothing propping it up, nothing stopping it. On the daily, I think we're below all the moving averages as well. Yeah, on the daily, we're below all the moving averages. So it will be when the big guys, if the big guys come in and start buying it up. You can see we have this back 26th of December 18. We had some bigger volume, it looks like right here, the 21st of December 2018. I'm just looking to see if we had any crazy prints on it. That was the Friday before Christmas. Oh, we had a fair amount. We had 224,000 at 62.62. So we're below that right now. And really the major big prints came back here, the big volume days, when it really surged up high to 85.79 and 85.97. And so a lot of the volume was back here, not so much lately. So we have some smaller volume spikes right after earnings here. So we had earnings and it pulled back. And earnings right now, it's expected 194. Last time it was expected to be positive, but there was an additional expense. So maybe they have additional expenses with more drug development. I have no idea. Maybe they're going to have lots of drug sales because people are buying remdesivir. I don't know. All right, guys, have an amazing afternoon. I hope you guys really, which one? Are you talking about this charting right here, AA? This is Trading View right here, over here. AEO. Let's see, AEO, American Eagles. Yeah, AEO, however, look at that. On the daily chart, it's hitting the 425. And so I'd watch that. See if there's some buying power that comes in. We did have big volume yesterday, as most of the market. So I would watch and see if it bounces off of here. It might very well bounce off of 14.19. As if it closes up above there today, might be a nice run to the upside. And let's check out Domino's. I forgot, we've been watching this one. Still coming back down, came back down to this one. And now, is this going to continue, break the downward trend, find some volume? It does look kind of like an H, which is not pretty, but it's holding and the buyer stepped in a bit today. However, volume is dropping off here. So volume dropping off, we might see that we have a big volume day and we start to reverse this trend tomorrow. All right, have an amazing afternoon. I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15, and I also have a cool video coming out today all about how to stay motivated during quarantine and COVID times. All right, guys, see you all tomorrow at 12:15. Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time.